Accucare Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Brick, New Jersey offers a state-of-the-art facility with all the best and current treatments. With athletic trainers, massage therapists, and doctors of physical therapy, Accucare has everything you need to stay healthy and perform at the highest level. Cupping, stretching, laser therapy, compression boots, and a full-body cryo chamber are just some of what you can expect at Accucare. Check out their website and social media links in my bio. No prescription is needed to see them. So call them today and start feeling and performing at your best. Again, thank you to Accucare for sponsoring the Shore Football Report. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Accucare High School Football Preview Show, Monmouth County Edition, presented by the Shore Football Report. Today, we will talk Marlboro Mustang football with head football coach Jason Dagato in his 10th season. I can't believe it's 10th year already, Coach.
Yeah, man, it really does start to fly. I can't believe it's 10 years myself.
10 years, man. But 10 years, but now you last year you went 7-3. I believe it was the second best record ever in school history.
Yeah, that's correct. Second best in school history.
You know, you got quite a bit of starters back, key starters back, playmakers back. There's a lot of anticipation for this season. Would you say the least?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that, the kids are fired up, coaches are fired up. I think the community's jacked up, the school is jacked up. It's kind of an exciting time right now.
Oh, it is, man. It is. You got a lot to be looking forward to. I was doing some research, and yeah, I think the best team ever was 1984 with Zadilla, right?
Yep, that's correct.
And he won the state championship that year. But
Yep.
how exciting was it in your school going 7-3? And I mean, for 30 years nobody did that.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really, right after game one, the hallways were just buzzing. And it really just continued that way throughout the year. And, success breeds confidence. Confidence breeds more success. And it just kept rolling for us. And, it wasn't without its ups and downs, but overall it was a great season for us. But yeah, it's a great feeling when you're walking through the school and the amount of admiration and respect and the buzz throughout the school and the positivity. And everyone's excited.
Yeah.
And, they can't wait to get to Saturday. It's a game changer.
And success breeds expectations.
Yes, it does.
Everybody always breaks to winning a championship or division, and then reality strikes. Now, last year, the kids were saying, they were talking about it before the season that they were going to be good, and probably people didn't believe them, and they did it. Now, they're probably talking a little bit higher expectations, rightfully so. So that's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't hide from it what our expectations are now as coaches and what our expectations should be as kids. We've raised the bar, we feel, and we expect to go out and be successful and do the things that need to be done to be successful. We're not just going to take the field and be successful. It's, as you know, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of effort from a lot of people to have success at this level.
Coach, I'm going to tell you something right now. Shore Football Report last year covered high school football for the first time in 1 year. I raised the bar. I got people that joined the dream team. Let me brag about them real quickly.
Sure.
Our sponsor, Accucare. Love them. Pam Anthony, the founder, owner, Accucare and Brick, physical therapy and sports medicine and Brick. awesome. She does a great job with the athletes, and you know as well as I do that you like healthy athletes on the football field, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, best ability is availability, right? Can't make the club in a tub, they say.
I mean, we break down film, we do all these different things, and when a kid has a tweaked hamstring, it's like, who do we send him to? You send him to Accucare in Brick. She's awesome. She's got a great plan for all the athletes, what she wants to do all season with them. She's a big fan of all the programs and watches every one of these shows and messages me or calls me up and asks me questions about each coach in their program after they do it. And I'm sure I'm going to be getting a call tomorrow when your thing comes on right there. And she's awesome. I couldn't be any happier with being in partnership with Accucare. The high tech equipment she has, the expertise, and the relationships she has with the athletes is second to none. I haven't heard an athlete who went to see them yet that says I don't want to go there. It's great.
Yeah, I mean
It's great.
that's awesome. I'm happy for you. It sounds like a great partnership, and you've definitely done a very thorough job, good job. Raising the bar of
I
what short
want.
conference football reporting
I'm
is,
like
and
you. I
I'm sure
raised the
it's only going
bar.
to get better.
I'm
That's
like
it.
you. I raised the bar. You know what else I did? I hired a pretty good familiar face in the short conference, Scott Stump,
Yep.
and he's pretty good, right? And I was saying to myself, I can never write. I can't write. I can't do that. I'm terrible. I just don't know how to write. I can barely text. So what do? You bring in a guy who likes to write, loves to write. He is great. I'll tell you what, knowing Scott and talking to him through the couple of weeks, and I wanted to keep it quiet until a certain time. He's hard to keep quiet. It's hard to keep somebody like him quiet, but he's got so many, um, ideas that are want to be added to our site and all this, and it's just a great addition because he's a guy that you don't have to micromanage. He's been there, done it. Hey, who you lying? He's so much better than me. It's unbelievable. I was on the sidelines and he was the guy that was covering all of us. But I wanted the best. I got the best. You guys are the best. You guys, coaches and players in the short conference, and we're gonna make it fun. That's the one thing we're
Yeah,
gonna do is we're
absolutely.
gonna make it fun.
Hey, look, you know as well as I know, right? You always want to surround yourself with
Oh
great
God,
talent, and I'm sure you got to be happy about that.
yeah. That was awesome. So we're excited about Accucare, our sponsorship, and then adding Scott Stump to our coverage, and that's great, Coach. Let's get into you. I want you to talk briefly about your resume, how you became the head football coach at Marlboro. Just walk us right down that line of memory lane, and then let's get talking more Mustang football. You go ahead.
Yeah, so I started as a young teacher at Marlboro. I was assistant for head coach Derek Sininsky for about 4 years. After that, the job opened up. And I always really, since I was a young high school football player myself, I always envisioned myself coaching and becoming a head coach one day,
Good.
and I always felt that was my path. So that job opened up. Um, I felt like it was a great opportunity to go after that job, and it was one of those things where I'm the type of person when people tell you something can't be done, or they it's just a challenge to me, and that's what I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to go somewhere that I could leave my name and my imprint on it. And look, every program has its challenges. Even the most successful ones, the most historic ones. There's challenges there as well. But this was a type of challenge that I really wanted and I embraced. So once this job opened up, I knew I wanted that. It ignites something in me when people say something can't be done. So went for it. I was very young. I got the job. I think I was either 27 or 28 when I got it. Um, and here I am 10 years later. But and then when you get that job, it was definitely a huge undertaking. Talking about a place that really, other than that '94 season, really did not have much history nor much success. So knew I was going to be in it for the long haul. Never really expected a quick turnaround. And my initial goals were really, let's start getting competitive because
Yeah.
early on and for a long time, Marlboro was kind of a doormat, a lot of blowout type games. So step one was all right. Let's get to a point where we can get some systems in place here, some off-season systems, some offensive systems, some defensive systems that kids can take to, and we can really squeeze some stuff out of these kids. Um, and let's get ourselves in a position to compete. And then when you start competing, anything can happen. And then we got to a point now, over these past couple years where we're competing, um, and we felt like competing wasn't good enough anymore. And we really pushed the bar a little bit. And as we've said a couple times already, I felt like last year we raised the bar. So,
Yeah, we
um,
did.
we felt like as we continue along this journey, we should be looking to get better every year and looking to continue to push forward. So, that's really what it was all about for me, and I'm super excited, to be in this position now. I think Marlboro football is looked at much differently now than it
Yeah.
was 10 years ago, and I'm just humbled and proud to be a part of that. Um, and just to see the community so excited to get the football team back on the field is just a fantastic feeling. So that's kind of my story, my journey over the last 10 years, I would say.
all in a 3-minute little talk. But I'm going to tell you something,
Right.
Coach, where I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because we've talked for many, many years through the years when I was a coach too. Getting to the top is not the hardest part. It's staying on the top. And right now you're on top. I'm telling you right now, you got your program on top, but getting to the top is easier than staying on the top, right? And you're gonna start realizing it, but it's gonna bring different challenges. And I
Yep.
think you got the guys around you, your staff and your players to kind of make it a continuous thing. I really do.
Yeah. So that's really been a point of emphasis for us. We do know what we did last year, and we have a lot of guys back, but we've also been emphasizing all off season that last year is last year and this year is this year.
Yeah.
You can't just sit back and relax. And I've always said, it's like a roller coaster, right? Like you're either getting better, you're either going up or you're going down. You're either getting better or you're getting
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Because if you're not getting better and everybody else is, by default, you've gotten worse. And my staff is fantastic. We've been together pretty much with minimal turnover since basically 2017. So that staff continuity is huge too. And they all again, they're all kind of like me. They all embrace the challenge.
Good.
They all saw something in that there was the potential for a special turnaround here.
Yeah.
And they all wanted to be a part of that. And that's what I wanted on my staff. I wanted guys like that, they wanted that challenge, and so now it's the next challenge, like you said, is building on that success. Now, what are we going to do for an encore this year in 2022? And it's a challenge. We got to stay humble. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I like to quote some Sean McDermott stuff, but
Right.
humble and hungry, and that's really what it's all about. Staying humble and understanding that just because you were successful last year, nobody owes you anything this year, and you better stay hungry. If you want to continue that success and build upon your successes.
It's amazing in football. The ball could go slightly to the left or to the right, and it goes through the uprights or not. You make a first down by this much.
Yep.
And if you get it, or if the ball bounces a certain way, all of a sudden people think of you and look at you differently. It's crazy. When you talk about game of inches, right? But us
Yep.
coaches,
Oh,
you
absolutely.
get a win or you get a loss depending on if the ball rolls or if the official missed or made a right call. It's
Yep.
crazy. Never blame
Yep.
us. Always blame the officials, but you never blame us. But it's crazy. And then you start going, wow, I can't believe where I'm at right now. I got a 7-3 record, which I believe is up top because you were flirting with getting to where you had to get. You should have been in the playoffs. It's unfortunate because you were a playoff team. You were a
Yeah.
playoff team. Maybe that's one of your goals this year going into this season, right?
Yeah. So that's one of the bars that we've talked about with the kids. Like we expect now as a team, as a group, now we should be competing for championships. We should be competing for playoff positioning.
Yeah.
We were in that position last year. Our central regional game was basically, we win that game, we win the division. We were competing for a playoff spot. And that's kind of where we expect to be every year now. Like that's kind of the floor that we're trying to set here, is be competing for championships, be competing for the playoffs. But again, that's something we impress upon the kids every day, that you don't just get that just by walking out onto the field. There's a whole crazy journey to get there.
Yeah.
And you have to embrace that
Amen.
journey. You have to embrace that grind. And when your number's called, you also have to be able to produce and make plays.
Amen to that, coach. Amen to that. Well, interesting journey yourself getting to be the head coach. Your journey with your program currently. I'm excited to talk a little Mustang football. Are you ready to talk football?
Absolutely.
All right, coach, whip that thing off and never do that again. Wear that again. No more COVID talk. Back to normal. Now, us coaches, parents, community, we were affected by that COVID with all the restrictions, what we cannot do. We can't shake hands, we can't hug, all that. We had to do virtual, which we're doing now. But what about the kids? The kids, the
Yeah.
kids were affected too, and they have not had a normal off season workouts since the senior class since after their freshman football season. So they never got a chance to see what it was like with veterans ahead of them. So now you had to reteach your off season workout. Tell
Yep.
us,
Yeah.
tell us what a normal off season workout is for Marlboro in your program.
Yeah, so usually we hit the weight room right after school. Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, 3 days a week. Um, and we're together and we're working hard, and it's where a lot of bonds are forged, and kids see the work ethic and everything. But like you said, it's crazy.
Mhm.
When you really break it down, that these kids, I mean, they hadn't seen a normal off season ever because their freshman year, we got January and February. By March, we were shut down, and then last year, in 2021, um, the spring we weren't allowed to lift until after graduation. Um, so even that was difficult because even that we couldn't, we still couldn't have a normal off season. So really, this was the first time and only time for these seniors that they will have had a normal off season of
Yeah.
of just no uncertainty. Like nothing was going to change. It was we were just going to show up and we were going to do what we always did. Lifting Monday, Wednesday, Thursday like clockwork. And doing all those things, and that's kind of what we lived in was just such a world of uncertainty. Which, as a coach, it's crazy because our calendars and our plans are all laid out so far in advance, and then suddenly these things change it. It's been nice to not have to deal with that aspect of it. If I say something's going to happen on this date, it's going to happen on that date. So it's certainly been, I'm sure, a breath of fresh air for the kids as well as the adults to move about in a normal fashion. We know that like clockwork, this is the days we're going to be working out, and here's what it is, and this is the schedule, and it's not really going to change.
I remember that my last season was the COVID.
Yep.
So when I broke the news to my AD that I was stepping down, he didn't hear me right because I had the mask on. He's like, "What?" I said, "Oh, I'm leaving," and I put it back on. No, I'm kidding. But I saw myself as a coach saying, I am going to step down at the end of the season. I didn't know what was ahead going
Yep.
on with the COVID. We all didn't, just in terms of the world and all that stuff. To me, it's nice to see everything kind of, getting back to normal. It really is.
It
Um,
is.
it was a tough time. We all called each other up and saying, how are we, first of all, we can never talk about pods again. How are we going to coach football in pods where
Yep.
you can only be in 10? I was so upset when the doctors came out with their rules that pods of 10. Well, football needs 11,
Yeah.
right? You're telling
Yep.
me they couldn't give us one more person somewhere in those pods, and we also couldn't use a football. It's crazy. So you're
Yep.
teaching football to guys who probably never knew how to play football in pods of 10, and they had to be 6 feet apart with no football. Talk about
Yep.
spacing, right?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was. It was a challenge, but to the credit of pretty much every coach that I know of. I mean, I know I made a lot of phone calls like, "Hey, what are you doing? How are you doing this? How just to try and get a lay of the land and get take different ideas from different people about how you can at least be somewhat effective with it." But again, credit to all the coaches for that year getting out there and making it happen because I think the number one sentiment that I got and I felt the same way was we all want to get out there for the kids. We want this is what we love to do. We love bringing the kids in and working with them.
Mhm.
So, I think that was kind of the overarching feeling amongst the coaching community is, we want to be out there doing this for our kids.
Yeah, it was quite an experience, and I really believe that it probably made us better coaches that
No,
we are right now.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think, there's like anything else, no matter how bad it is, there's lessons to be learned in it. Different ways of doing things. I've still kept because that year, remember, I don't think in the leading into the 21 season, or leading into the 2020 season. I'm sorry. I don't think we are really much allowed to use the weight room. Like you had to be in small
Right.
groups. So like I know we couldn't use the weight room, but there's some aspects of that we've kept, like some outdoor workout type stuff. Um, that we've kept that we use here and there. And even the virtual meetings. In the spring sometimes, we'll get on virtually and just talk some football with the
Yeah.
kids and stuff like that.
Well, you and I were
So
talking at 2 o'clock,
yep,
just doing virtual clinics.
yep, exactly. Things like that. So there's just things that, like anything else, you find things that work out of it, and you take some positives out of it and you move forward.
My wife and the coaches' wives really liked virtual meetings because we didn't have to go meet at the school and what she says talk about stuff for 3 hours when I could shut the computer off and say, now take the garbage out. And then I would do
Yes.
right there. So we were able to be more productive as coaches and,
Yep.
and also with players too. Instead of
Yeah,
having
absolutely.
everybody come to get a meeting, you learn how to teach it on a computer. And it's
Yep.
just the new way of life now, coach. It really is.
Yeah. Yep. And it's not such a bad thing. We've done some parents club meetings, some different things that
Yeah.
we do it virtually sometimes, and it's I think it's
Convenient.
used properly. The virtual format can be good.
Coach, let's hear some of those outstanding coaches you got for the 2022 football season. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just before I mention these guys, I just need to point out just how lucky and how blessed I am to have such a great group of guys that I'm surrounded by, that really put in the work, um, and just they're fantastic people. They really care about the kids. They know the game of football. They know how to teach the game of football, and they're just fun to be around. So I need to make sure I said that. Um, so my coaching staff, varsity coaching staff, I have my defensive coordinator, also coaches the linebackers and running backs, is Reed Stapp. My special teams coordinator, who also coaches our defensive line and our wide receivers, is Coach Jim Papalia. We also call him the graveyard coach because you know how sometimes when you're getting some defensive work in, man, and those defensive linemen, when it's skelly time and and things like that, the defensive linemen end up in individual time for like 40 minutes. So we just we send them out to the graveyard and let them do one on ones for a while.
Mm.
Also, my offensive line coach, defensive line coach is Bill Cook. Um, my D backs coach and quarterbacks coach is Tom Caporale. I also have another assistant, Ryan Cassidy, whose brother also plays for me. Ryan played for me years ago. Um, he helps out with the running backs and linebackers. I also picked up a new assistant coach this year, Chris Giuliano. He's new, he's young, he just graduated college. Um, Actually, literally just a few weeks ago, um, I was told he was a long-term sub in our district, and I reached out to him, with the football experience, and so he'll be on staff. He'll be helping out with the wide receivers and the D-backs. Our freshman coaches, freshman head coach will be Coach Corey Variel, who's been with me for a while. Our freshman offensive coordinator slash O-line D-line coach will be Mike Warnock, who's new with us this year. And we have a freshman coach who will be helping out with the running backs and linebackers as well, Mike Luzio, and he's also new, local guy who really wanted to help out.
Coach, I love when you don't realize it when you're coaching, but when you take a couple steps back, like I did right now, and start looking at other staffs and guys I've known for years and say, wow, they really elevated. And if every coach gets better together and you have a very consistent staff, it's very rewarding at the end. But I noticed when you said you added a new coach, Chris Giuliano, a new coach coming in, and it was something you probably unconsciously wanted to say, but adding a new coach to an experienced coaching staff, how is that fitting in?
That's great. I mean, the kid's got a great attitude. He's a young guy, and also my coaches embrace that stuff. They love seeing that that new young guy
Yeah.
who's hungry and wants to learn, and they love teaching them and working with them and those kinds of things. So it's great, and he'll be working pretty closely on offense with Coach Papalia, who does a great job with our wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking forward to working with Chris and creating a relationship with him. And defensively, he'll work closely with Coach Caporale and the D backs. And again, same thing. He's looking forward to creating a relationship with him. And it's one of those things where a guy like Tom Caporale has been doing it a long time. He's got a lot of good stuff to teach you. Coach Papalia, he's got a lot of good drills and coaching points and things like that to teach you. So it's a great situation, I think, for a young coach to come walking into, and be around guys and be around a staff that's really, for the most part, been together for a long time, and be a part of that and learn a lot.
Yeah, it is fun seeing a younger coach join in and kind of blend in, and because
Yep.
everybody was young at one point, you know.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I was young 30 years ago, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're not the young coach no more, coach. You might be
No.
young, but you're not young. So
No.
you're
No.
getting up
You're right.
there.
Like you said, when I, taking over when I'm 28 versus now I'm 38, I have two kids. It's and I'm still somewhat young.
Right, coach? To the left, Marlboro Mustangs football schedule. To the right is the Constitution Division, or should we say the Freehold School District Division minus Manalapan. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's hear your take on your schedule.
Yeah. So overall, look, the take on the schedule is, as as it is every year, there's a lot of good football teams on the schedule, a lot of really well coached football teams, a lot of talented players. Um, so we're looking forward to the challenge, and every week truly brings its challenges. And that's part of the fun of coaching football, right? You embrace those challenges and you find ways to work around them. Um, so we're excited about the schedule. Um, we've obviously taken a good look at it and looked at the films and looked at the last year's previews and who's got what coming back and all
Mm-hmm.
that good stuff. And we're excited. It's going to be a great year for some short conference football. So we're excited to get to it and looking forward to it. So obviously as you see there, we open up with Brick Township, at Brick Township. So we played them last year. Coach Lenny Coach Zadanowitz does a great job over there. I spoke to him a couple times, before our game, and then after our game we had a JV game, and he's a great guy, and he does a real good job over there. And plus, it's Brick. I mean, Brick is always going to have tough Brick kids. So that's a challenge we got to be ready for. At the end of the day, they're going to be tough, and we know that, and we better we better be able to stand up to that. So, that's our goal is get ready for that week one game. Freehold Township, Coach Corey Davies. He's been around a long time and he does a great job. And I've formed a friendship with Coach Davies. And he's just a great guy. And I have a lot of respect for what he's been able to do. I absolutely love his pass game concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great. As he's really kind of, changed that a little bit in the short conference with the amount of throwing. But again, that's a team that always plays us tough. They always have some tough kids. They always have some good athletes out there. And Coach Davies always has something up his sleeve for you. He's always prepared. So that'll be a challenge in itself as well. Freehold Borough, the next game, Coach Ellis has done real well, particularly in the last couple of years with Freehold Borough. And they'll be prepared. They'll have some athletic kids who are ready to play football. And that'll be that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Is figuring out a way to keep their athletes from getting behind your defense is always tough with Freehold Borough. Howell, we've played them pretty much every year. Howell will be a mixture. They'll have some athletes, they'll have some tough kids, they'll have some good football players. So again, that's that challenge there. St. John Vianney, new coach Jeff Papson, who I know very well. I know he's been excited and he's been waiting for this moment. So I absolutely know they'll be prepared for this season. I know that he prepares his team very well. So again, I know they'll be coached up against us. They'll have some athletes and they'll be ready to play some football. Jackson is Jackson, man. Jackson is tough. They're well coached. I mean, they've got athletes, they've got tough kids, they've got big kids. They're gonna have some big kids up front, big strong kids who really love blocking for their skill kids. I know they have a couple of skill kids returning, the quarterback. I know they have a receiver returner returning. And that'll be a challenge, man, just like every week. Manalapan is really one of the most successful short conference football teams, over the past decade.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fantastic challenge for us. They'll have dudes all over the place. They'll be ready to play. Coach Lapori, friends with him also. He does a great job over there. They'll be ready to play. They'll be tough defensively, flying around to the football. Offensively, they'll be able to score quickly. They'll have some athletes out there. So, that's Manalapan football for you. And then lastly, we have Colts Neck, and they've been great the past couple of years. Coach Ahern has really done a good job getting that place going again. Um, they've been huge up front the past couple of years, and they mix in some really good athletes. They're very well coached, man. They have their route running is really good. Quarterback gets the ball out on time. Defensively, they've always been very disciplined. They've been very tough. They fly to the football. They tackle well. So look, at the end of the day, this is a good tough schedule. But also having that good tough schedule is exciting for us because we feel like we've earned a place to go against these kinds of teams, and people will be looking forward to these games and be a little bit excited about these games, as will we.
Interesting take with your schedule. Let's jump over to the right, the Constitution Division, and I want to talk a little bit about it. For everybody's got a story about each program is interesting. Let's talk about you first, Coach Dagato. 7-3 has got these guys riding high. Great season last year. Should have made the playoffs. Have a chip on your shoulder. That's a scary combination. Successful, chip on your shoulder, because you've been there and you should have got in there. That's gonna be great for this year for your team. So you got a lot of dudes back: AJ Schwartz, Ryan Mendes, um, Corey Shannon, and Matt Cassidy. That's four dudes. So you're
Mhm.
coming in there. You're playing Jackson. Jackson had a losing record, and I think it was the first time in 12 years. They're not used to losing. They got hit with the injury bug, but they had a lot of good players coming back. Ty Mann. You have D'Alessandro. You got Hernandez. Just a whole bunch of guys and Fisher up front. So they're going to be tough this year, Coach. Would you say?
Oh, absolutely. But Jackson's always tough. Even last year when they were you know didn't have as great of a season. They still beat us. They're just a tough football team. They're tough kids. It's a football town. They certainly get after it. And then they got some athletes, like you said, Ty Mann, who played a great game against us. That
Mm-hmm.
D'Alessandro, the receiver slash returner.
Yep.
That kid's lightning, man. So yeah, they absolutely are returning some kids, and I'm sure they're excited about their upcoming season as well.
And Coach, talking about the freehold school districts, the other ones, and let me just talk quickly about them. You got Billy Hill. They lost 6 games by 5 points. Um, and they got so many dudes back, and they got chip on their shoulder. Jackson and Howe are going to be scary teams because they got a lot of guys back, and they believe that they should have been better last year. And that's scary for opponents. You got Freehold Township, Corey Davies, just the best offensive-minded guy in terms of pass game. Like you said, he's always got tricks up his sleeve. I used to always pick his brain when I was coaching at Barnegat. They got a lot of guys back. Mark Aguayo's back. A bunch of good receivers. They got young juniors playing. They're going to be very exciting. Freehold Borough with Coach Ellis, offensive schemes are always tough to defend, and their attacking 3-3 defense is always tough. They're going to have athletes across the field, and then you got Colt Snack who likes to pound, the rock with power. They got Scully back, and of course they got big linemen in the trenches, and his mentality. Tough guy football is installed again for another season. So and then when people talk about you, it's just there's a black and blue division, a lot of good football teams, Coach, and parity is the word when you describe Constitution.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. I think every single week should be a fantastic football game. There is, absolutely no gimmies for anybody on there. I think it's just knockdown, drag out brawls every week, and as coaches, that's what you should want. You should go in every game, being challenged, feeling challenged. It's invigorating. It's refreshing that every week when you sit down and you turn that film on, you really got to sit there and analyze and think and really put time and effort into your game plans because, it really matters. It really does matter. It's the talent level is probably just about even in the division. You know what I mean? So every little thing you do is going to matter.
Yeah, your non-conference games and then your conference games, there's no lull in it at all, Coach. So
No,
and
but that's what you should want. Absolutely we're ready, and that's what we want. We're excited about
when the ads put the schedule together, and you were 7-3 last year, You're playing some good teams. Just
Yep.
good.
But as we feel, we've earned it, and that we're excited about the challenge.
All right, Coach. We all want to hear what you're running offensively and defensively. So let's hear it.
Yeah, offensively, we're a pro style offense. So, you'll see two back game out of us. You'll see one back game out of us. Um, we love to run the football. So, we're a big power downhill running team. So play action type passing. So, that's kind of where we make our money. With AJ at quarterback, who's a real good athlete. We've definitely incorporated some more read game in the offense than we have in the past. That we feel that's been really beneficial for us. Defensively, we're a 3-4 defense. We love to play cover three, and we like to move around a lot, send guys from different angles, and kind of change things up on you. We feel we don't like to sit still. We feel like sitting still kind of gives the offense the
Mm-hmm.
advantage. So we like to be a little more aggressive than that and move around a bit.
Coach, this is a segment I like. It's called the top position groups. And I do research. I love finding units, not just one player, but I like when you have a unit together that is your strength. So I did research on all programs, and now it's talking Marlboro. You ready? You want to hear
Yep.
what I think? Now, I could be wrong, and I'm not normally wrong. Once every 70 years. That's what. Yeah. Don't tell my wife that. Let's talk offense. Looking at your offense, what you got, doing a lot of film work. I think your backfield. I think your quarterback and running backs are your strength. And I'm going to tell you why. AJ Schwartz, who I love, he's gotten better and better each week. I saw him in the 7-on-7. Coach, he's built like a rock, right? You have
Yeah.
I also like your running back positions, and I don't know who it is, but I think it's going to be a mix of people. Like you got Matt Cassidy, you got Dylan McCauley, and Dan Alcide. I think you have a good unit of people that I think is your strength. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that. I mean,
Yes.
I think right off the bat,
Yes.
you said it before I could say it about AJ. I mean, the kid just got better every week, and you saw physically what he looks like. I mean, he's just built right now. I mean, he's clearly put the work in to make himself a bigger, faster, stronger kid.
Oh yeah.
But he absolutely got better throughout the year. I mean, AJ, week to week, we didn't throw the ball a lot in the beginning of the year, but then eventually, obviously teams do their film, and they started to pack the box on us, and we started to unleash AJ a little bit more with his arm and not just his legs. And he responded, and he was great. I mean, he set the school record for touchdown passes last year. He did a great job for us. So yeah, I think he's a big strength returning. And then you look at our backfield, like you said, and Matt Cassidy was our starting fullback last year, got some carries.
Yeah.
Dylan McCauley, he played some football for us last year. He got a decent amount of carries. And then we're real excited about Dan Alcide, who we're moving around a little bit, receiver, running back. But he's had a real strong offseason. And, so far in our summer, he's been doing real well. He's been doing real well in the 7-on-7s. So we're excited about that whole stable of guys right there that you just mentioned.
And I know you have one. I know you have one of the top receivers in the shore, but we're talking units. And I'm
Yep.
sorry, I really like the unit you have offensively with your quarterback, running backs, DBs now. Your
Yep.
DBs on defense are your strength. Again, Matt Cassidy is one of the top safeties in the shore. And let me remind you, he's only a junior. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
AJ Schwartz is your
Yep.
safety, and Nick Scaff as a corner and a junior. I looked at your team, and I like that. I just think they're your strength on defense.
Yeah, so you look at it. Actually, all four of them are back because so on top of those three, you have Anthony Lafani, my other corner, who's back. So all four of those guys started for us last year. AJ is going to be a 3-year starter at D back. Maddie started last year as a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Scaff started as a sophomore, and Lafani got into the lineup as a junior.
Mm-hmm.
And then another piece to that defensive back mix is Jake Houston, who he got hurt game
Got
2.
hurt. Yep.
Yep. So he was originally our starting corner, and then Anthony stepped in and did a great job for us. So there's a lot of competition back there. Which, yep. We keep saying iron sharpens iron, but
nickel.
Yep.
The nickel
And
defense.
that's what we're talking to is how are we gonna get these kids in because they're all varsity football players, and as a coaching staff, that's a challenge you want to have. We got to figure that out. But you're talking about especially your two safeties, kind of moving pieces around.
Mm-hmm.
Those two coming back, one of which is a 3-year starter. is huge for you. So we have high expectations for that group right there.
Hmm.
We think they all performed pretty well last year, and we think they should all only get better this year.
Yeah, I'm actually taking notes if there was something I skipped and all that. I want to be perfect. I really do. And talking about perfect, we got a kicker. I think your strength of your kicking game is your kickers. Luke Rubin coming back should be one of the top ones in Monmouth County. Give us your take on Luke and what do you expect him to be this year with his expectations?
Yeah, so Luke kind of came out of nowhere for us last year. He was a sophomore. We knew he could kick, but it's tough, man, when you move up to that varsity level and there's eyes on you and the band's
Yeah,
playing, there's people in the crowd and the cheerleaders going. But he proved to be up to the task. He battled it out. Won himself some kicking duties, and really ran with it after that. He took over kickoff first. And he was fantastic for us, putting the ball on the 10-yard line for most of the time, which was great for us.
yeah,
I love that. Um, he was great on extra points. So we were real excited about that. And, he put in a lot of work this offseason. He's been in the weight room with us. He's been doing a lot of kicking training. So we're real excited to see what kind of season Luke is going to have for us. And, we think that, he has the ability to take over all the kicking duties, the kickoffs, the punts, extra points. We think he can not only take it over, but we think he can do a fantastic job.
it's funny because again, through the years at coaching at Barnegat, I kind of got smarter. There's something about kickers, those soccer players. So I would have a bunch of players come out that wanted to play football for me, right? And they can kick. And my coaches would get mad at me because I babied them. Because they'll see the kickers kick and then they would have drinks with umbrellas in it, drinking it like they're in a yacht club. I said, hey,
Yep.
let the boy drink because he can kick 45, 50-yard field goals. You're
Right.
good. Go home. You're good.
Right.
You know,
Right. If he could put the ball in the end zone, we can make it work.
it's called differentiate instruction. My
Yes.
linemen are practicing both ways. My kicker, I need him from here. Go babysit at 3 o'clock. You're done. God bless you. He plays one side of the ball, and that's kick. What does he need to
Yep.
be there for 3 hours? But that's me, coach. So I was kind of pretty. I hit it pretty good, right? Your
Yeah.
quarterback, running backs, your DBs, and your kicking game are your strength of each aspect of your offense, defense, special teams, right?
Yeah. I
Yes.
agree with all of it.
Nice, nice, good. Coach, before you go on about your top returning players of next year, I want to highlight four guys on your team that I think that are elite in terms of out in the short too. Ryan Mendes, your wide receiver. I know he plays outside linebacker, but I really seen him grown physically. He's a big, strong outside receiver type of guy. You got AJ Schwartz, who is going to be a senior athlete. I mean, I see him as an athlete. He could play here, he could play there. If you moved him to running back, I wouldn't be surprised because he's just an athlete, coach. And
Yep.
I know you got another good quarterback in that program too. I believe his name's Klein.
Yes.
you
Great.
you got it to add to your offensive backfield. Lucky dog, man. But AJ can play anywhere. You have Corey Shannon, outstanding offensive lineman, defensive end. I mean, he can play with the best of them in the trenches. And then Matt Cassidy at safety. I mean, Matt Cassidy is like I said, he's a Ronnie Lott type of kid. Like he's physical, coach. He's big, strong, physical
Yep.
guy. I mean, you can run left, right, or through you. He's going through you. He's physical,
Absolutely.
right? Tell me
Yeah.
something about all four of those guys. How are they not on the field, but in the off season? How are they in the weight room and all that?
Yeah. So I mean, you're talking about four guys right there that are just fantastic human beings. They're great kids, have real good families, and they kind of set the tone for us. AJ has that vocal leadership type man. He brings a lot of positive energy to anything he does. Really, I mean, in the weight room, the practice field, he's always
Good,
bringing positive energy, talking kids up. Little hooting and hollering here and there, and you can just always tell everything he's doing. He's just having fun.
good.
And Ryan's very similar in that regard. He kind of feeds off AJ a little bit. Those two are actually very good friends. Um, but he brings that positive energy as well. He's just a great kid to coach. He's always trying to learn. He's excited about learning. he's been great. And actually, AJ and Ryan were captains for us last year as juniors,
Hmm.
so that kind of shows you what the other kids think about those two guys, because those they were voted captains. So that was big for them, and that's kind of an important piece to have. You need
Yeah,
those vocal guys that bring juice and bring positivity to the practice field and to really everything you do.
they're great.
Um,
They're great.
oh yeah, and Corey's a little bit of a quiet guy, but as I've seen him, grow into more of his personality, he's quite funny. But he's another real coachable kid. Very very can be very reserved, but then there's a lot of times where I see him and suddenly he gets all fired up and shows some real emotion, and I'm like, all right, Corey, let's see a little more of that. But he's always been a kid who just does everything the right way all the time. He's at practice on time all the time. He leads by example. Um, and then when he gets fiery, man, he gets going too. So he's another one that I'm really excited to coach this year and see where he's grown to. I remember plugging him in as a young pup halfway through his sophomore year, and kind of just took the job at right tackle and ran with it.
Hmm.
Now we're expecting big production on both sides of the ball from him, and I think he's up to the challenge.
Now,
Um, and then Maddie, so Matt Cassidy, I've coached his two older brothers. One of them is actually it was on staff with us last year. Will be back again this year.
hmm,
And he's just kind of following in their tradition, man. They were all great kids, all three of them. Kind of like tone setter type kids. Just hardest worker in the room types. And all had their different personalities. His oldest brother Ryan was definitely a lead by example kind of guy. And just you just looked at him and you knew what kind of worker he was, and he showed it every day. The middle brother Steven, had a little personality to him, but also made no doubts, left no doubt about
hmm.
how hard how much work he was willing to put in, how hard he was working. And Maddie kind of takes the combination. Maddie has a little bit of the funny, boisterous personality of his middle brother, and a lot of the hard work that kind of runs in the Cassidy family. And he's kind of his own person as well. So, again, as a core, as four guys, um, they're great to have. And they're also talented kids. And I'm sure you can attest to, when some of your most talented kids are some of your hardest workers, it makes everything in your life as a coach a lot easier.
Now, tell me some names that are going to come out in other people's households on your football team. We know about those four. Give us some other names to look out for that you're excited about.
Yeah, so I'm very excited. Again, we mentioned him a few times, but Jake Houston, I think he was primed to have a nice season last year. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but he's back. He's healthy, and he was a kick returner, punt returner for us as a sophomore, and did a great job. And he was on his way early on to doing a great job for us at multiple positions last year, and having him back is huge. Dan Alcide, I'm really excited about Dan. Um, he's just been working his butt off all off season long, and we saw flashes last year.
Hmm.
In practice and scout team, he was a real problem for us. Our defense, when he was running scout team running back for us, and to be honest, that's where he just got better and better and better. And we've been excited for him since basically last season ended, and he's done nothing to stop us from being excited. He's just been continuously working hard, and these 7-on-7s, he's been going out doing a great job. So we're excited about him. Nolan Jones, who steadily just improved week to week to week last year, and eventually ended up all division for us as a linebacker. And he's just a kid who he just gets coached up constantly, and he loves it. And he tries to apply it every single rep, from one rep to the next to the next, and we think he's ready to take another step
He's
this
not
year.
sneaking up on people this year. I mean,
Yeah, I
he's
don't think he
already
will
on the
be.
list. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't think he will be.
No.
And then, just looking defensive line wise, we got a couple of young guys that we're excited about. Rob Kenyon being one of them. He had a fantastic offseason. Nate Emerson, Lou Agno, those three really, they're actually really good friends. They work real hard together. So we're excited, offensive line, defensive line, kind of where do they fit in,
Hmm.
um, type of deal. And we're excited to see what they can do for us. It's tough to say in the summer until we get the pads on, but
Hmm.
we think they're ready. Look, flipping it over offensively a little bit. We have a couple of guys coming back up front. Pete Budvite was our center last year, did a great job. Hunter Boylan jumped in at guard for us last year. So those two, along with Corey, three returning starters up front, and our tight end Lucas McAvoy. who also was a DN for us last year, who played really well there. All just tough kids that did a good job last year in their respective roles. Dylan McCauley, we're very excited about as well. Dylan is, he got some carries for us last year. Got bit by the injury bug a little bit, but we think he can be a special returner for us. We think he can be a real good running back as well. I mean, he's just his speed is really good. He's built really well. He's worked on getting just physically stronger, and the speed is there for him, man. So we absolutely have expectations for him as well. So overall, we're just excited, man. I love this part. I love talking about the kids and
Mm-hmm.
the work ethic and the things that they've put in, and what we're seeing and what we're expecting out of them. And we're just every day, man. We're just getting more and more excited as the season gets closer.
It's funny. Everybody loves to, think about what their record's going to be at the end of the year. If somebody wrote down on a piece of paper and said, "Would you sign right here for your record? Be 7-3." And you know what I would think you would say? No, because I think that you love the journey to get to that record, and I think you could be better than that. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
I don't think you
I mean, I
shortchange
agree with
yourself.
you. Look, 7-3 sounds great, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll take my chances with my kids and my staff. I think the sky's the limit for us.
Yeah.
And I would never want to put a cap on that. I think, I think we have a staff that works their butts off, and I couldn't be more proud to call my assistants. And I think we have kids that are talented. They're excited. They're coachable. They're ready to continue to raise the bar, as we've said. So, I
Mm-hmm.
think you're right. I would not, right now, I would not take that.
No, it's funny. My AD would always tell me, "I see a record being 7-3," and I look at him and go, "You think we're going to lose 3 times? Are you kidding me? What?
Yep.
Like you never, as a coach, you never can be satisfied with anything." And he would look at me and go, "I'm giving you a compliment. You think I'm going to lose 3 games?" And he goes,
Right.
"I like
Exactly. That's
that."
how you take it as a
Yeah,
coach.
yeah. So he would always ask me, he goes, "What do you think your record's going to be?" Well, I'm going to sit here and tell you, I think we're going to be failures for 3 games. And I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What am I going to do? Look at, we're
Never.
going to lose this game or that game? I never.
I never try and predict. I just, try and go after it every week like you do, and
Yeah.
let the chips fall and see how it is, and hopefully it's a positive experience for your players and all that, and
Yeah, I mean that, Rob. That's the best part, right? As a coach, that's what you
yeah,
live for, man. You put that film on, and you start. I'm sure you, especially as an offensive coach, you start
mm,
drawing things up on the board,
mm-hmm,
and this, that, and the other, and you're getting excited
yeah,
about it. And we think this can work, and then it does work, and then your coaches come in and they throw suggestions at you, and they're all fired up to make that
uh-huh,
work. That's the journey, man. That's why we do this. It's not robotic. It's not linear. It's exciting. It's fun.
it's
It's
fun.
competition, and you love it.
Talk about fun. Thursday, 9 in the morning at Howell.
Yes.
I'll be there.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Wait, you looking forward to seeing me or going
Yeah,
there?
of course. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
I got my nice Hawaiian shirt getting ironed as we speak. It'll be a good
Absolutely,
day.
you have to. You
Now
got to
that's
be in your
pretty
best.
cool. That's basically your whole division that's gonna be there, right? And Manalapan. So it's gonna
Yeah,
be
so everyone that's there will play. Like in a real game, we'll play.
6 teams will be there, right?
Yeah, yep, yeah, all six district schools. Yep.
Night. And how many games are you scheduled to play?
So it'll be like a round robin. Everybody will play each other once, so you should
Oh,
get 5
really?
games. Yep.
Wow, it's a long. All at Howell. How many fields?
So I believe we're gonna set up. Is it 2 fields? I think it's gonna be set up so that there'll be like 2 teams off at a time and 4 teams going.
Okay, cool. So a lot to look forward to, man. And then after that, I'm sure you're buckling up and getting ready for the season. It's what, like 2 weeks away, probably.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's August 10th. And I can't wait to be done. Look, don't get me wrong. I love 7-on-7s. They're great, but we want to start running the football too.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Getting you on the top. That's where you are right now. You're on cloud 9. Why? Because the year you had last year and the guys you got coming back. Who wouldn't be excited, right? Who would not be
Yeah, no,
excited?
I'm fired up. I'm ready.
Yeah. So thank you, and this will be on tomorrow morning, and then we'll see where you stand with the view count. Are you ranked in the top 20 in view count? It's going to be exciting, right? Now spectators, what do you call your student group?
The Stang Gang.
The Stang Gang. I like hearing different names and all that. The Stang Gang.
Yep.
And they need to pick up their game. They got to elevate and make sure everybody watches this preview show and get your views up so you are in the top 20 for the view count. You want to be
we'll get it shared out for you.
Top 20 on the field and top 20 in the view count. They go together. That's when you know you got it. Yep. Right? All right. Jason Dagato, the head coach at Marlboro, thank you very much. And wishing you guys the very best, a healthy, a safe, and successful season. All three, right?
Yep, absolutely. Rob, I appreciate you having me on. Hopefully I'll be talking to you during the season, because if I'm talking to you, that means we're doing well.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I hired Stump, everybody's like, can we redo the talk show? I mean, can we get him to interview us? I'm like, no, I'm starting to get jealousy. A little divide in the Shore Football Report right now. But hey, when you send a guy, can you send him instead of you? We already talked. You're like, all right, good. So yeah. Listen.
Well, it just means that you've made a great hire.
That's no, I'm partially joking, but I'm partially not. No, he's a good dude, man. I'm excited for Shore Conference football. You know, teams like yourself and you know, a lot of great coverage of people in all their medias and all that. So we're going to make sure that we're going to make this fun for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep scoring touchdowns.
What's that?
Keep scoring touchdowns and it'll be fun in Marlboro.
That's it. That's the goal.
All right. I'll see you Thursday and, you know, be safe.
All right. You got it. Thank you.
All right. Now we're going to talk to the Marlboro football players. We have 3 seniors and 1 junior. So let me introduce you guys. Just give a nice big wave to our audience. To the left, we have to the left over there, AJ Schwartz, the quarterback and safety. AJ, wave your hand. Nice. Right up top, we have our running back safety, Matt Cassidy, a junior. Matt, there you go. To the right, we have offensive tackle, defensive end, senior Corey Shannon. Corey, thanks for coming. And on the bottom, I'm going to get this correct. You ready? We have a senior wide receiver, outside linebacker. We have Ryan Mendes. Did I pronounce it right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Well, thanks for coming on the show, guys. 10 minutes, 11 minutes. If you guys prolong a couple questions, will not be any longer than 11 minutes if we keep it going, right? So let's get right to the chase. You guys are excited about the football season. I know it. We saw each other in person a couple times this summer, and I want to know more about the Marlboro football team in the locker room. When I was a head coach, I always wondered, what are the players thinking? Now that I'm a reporter, I'm going to find out what they're thinking right now. We're going to have some fun with it, all right? 5 questions. I need to know this. It's important about your football team. And here we go. Number 1, straight up, who's the funniest dude in your team? Who's the funniest dude on your team? Who's that?
Me. I said Trope. Any Tropiano. Corey's pretty funny.
That guy over there is funny, Corey?
Yeah.
All right, really? Is there? So you're saying Corey's funny and Tripodi?
Yeah, Tropiano.
Trippiano? He's pretty
Big
funny.
Hunter Boylan.
Are you holding?
Nick Scaff's pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Little shout out, Nick Scaff. Yeah.
Shout out.
So when Coach Dagato walks in, you guys zip it. He hears all the giggles, and now he knows who the clowns are on the team, right?
Yeah, low key.
There's nothing wrong, guys, with having fun, though. You know, when you're with your guys, as long as there's a time and place. I really do. Number 2, who's the leader? When Coach Dagato wants a message echoed out to the whole program, there's usually 1, maybe 2. If it's 3, that's great. People that message out the whole program the word of the coach. Who's that guy that does that stuff?
I think, well, over text, I usually just copy and paste what he texts a few of us and send it to the group chat. I usually do that.
So you do it?
I think it's really just a bunch of the seniors. It's like a collection of all the seniors. Like the linemen have their leaders. The quarterbacks will have like I'll take charge of the quarterback group.
Okay.
Lions with the receivers. I feel like it goes a lot of position group wise.
Is that true, Corey?
Yeah.
Who is there? Is there one specific lineman that does it? Is it you?
It's more just a group. Me, Peter Budvite, Lucas McAvoy, Hunter Boylan. We kind of take charge, and we have a fun time with the linemen.
He's smiling, man. Look out! I got to find out what those linemen are doing. But good. It's important to have leadership, guys. If you got more than one person, you're going to be all right for the football season. Number 3, back to normal. How important was it for you guys to start working out with your brothers together instead of for 2 years not being able to work out? And you had to do things independent, of course, wearing that stupid mask that we had to wear. So how important was it for you and your program to be working out together with your brothers? Start out, Matt Cassidy. Tell me, how big was it for you guys?
I think it was very important, building a bond with your teammates, getting ready for the season.
Yeah. Corey?
Coming off our first year was sophomore year, so it was very weird coming into football that way. But last year, when we got all settled and stuff, it just made it a lot more easier to just play football and not have to worry about that stuff.
Ryan?
Yeah, it was just a lot more fun to be around everyone and just knowing that we can touch each other, not we can be close to each other, not being
Right. AJ, you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, definitely. It makes a big difference, just chemistry wise, because we're around each other all the time, building off each other. So then once you get on the field, you're that much closer.
Now, a lot of you guys went to camps. Camps weren't in full boat like they were this year. That would have really stunk for you guys going into your junior or senior year where you couldn't work out in front of the coaches a certain way. You had to wear masks. You had to stay distant. Talking to college coaches, this was great being back to normal for recruiting. You guys went to some camps, did you or did you not?
Yeah.
No, Corey, you didn't, but I know you 3. AJ, did you go?
Yeah, I did. I went to a couple.
How was it? Was there any precautionary stuff, or you just went right into it like everything was normal?
Everything was pretty normal at all the camps. There was nothing COVID-wise, there was no restrictions or anything.
Good. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. You guys were experiencing that because recruiting was really damaged by the COVID, and all over the place. It just wasn't here. Number 4, expectations. We've talked privately, and we also seen each other, over the summer. I talked to Coach Dagato many, many times, but I don't want to hear what his expectations are. What are yours? The players, coaches leave the room. What is your expectations for your team this year? Go ahead, Corey. You start off. Playoffs. Yeah, you guys should have. You guys were a playoff team last year. You should have made the playoffs without a doubt.
We're coming for Lenape.
Lenape?
Yeah, they better watch out.
So you got a team already circled. Wow. Okay.
They stole our spot.
Oh, they took your spot?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you guys definitely had a great year last year. With the PowerPoints didn't go your way, but you definitely were a playoff team, without a doubt. Ryan, what are your expectations?
I would also, the division championship. Last year we were 1 game away. This year we know that we could either. It's a tough schedule, a little more tougher than last year.
Yeah.
We know we can beat every team we play, but if we don't play how we know we can play and the highest level, we're not going to win those games. So we have to play at the highest level every time and win that division and get that 2022 or 2023 hanging in that gym.
Nice.
Under that football banner.
I like that. Hasn't been that. You haven't done that in a long time, too, right?
Yeah.
AJ?
I just going off everyone else here. I don't want to lose. We're going into every game. We think we can win every game. We're coming for an undefeated season.
Right. Matt, you agreeing with that?
Yep. Playoffs, got to get that division. This year we're in division with most of our rivals, the Freehold Regional Schools. So
yeah,
it's kind of important to take this division this year.
I think it's real important this year to really show people that last year wasn't a fluke, to be honest. And you can play with everybody. There's no doubt you can play with everybody. So now you don't have to worry about, those past teams where you're like, we don't have a chance to win. You do. You really, really do. You got the talent and you are, your schedule is tougher, but you want that because you can play at that level. Last thing now, last question. Tell me, why is it so special to play at Marlboro under Coach Dagato? There's got to be something you could tell me that I don't know. Ryan, you go first.
I mean, it's just our hometown, and it's nothing better than playing like on your hometown. And there's nothing more like better feeling than last year, completely flipping what used to happen from going to losing every single game to a 7-3 season for the first time in 20 years. Like,
Yeah.
we just want to keep that going for the future.
Exciting. Matt?
I'll say the best thing about playing under Coach Dagato is definitely his bond with the players. It's like he is one of us. He's like a kid with us. We get along very well.
Good. Does he have a little fire to him too?
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
All right.
And
Good. Yeah, he's got a calming demeanor. I really like that. Corey, add to it. Tell me, why is it special to play at Marlboro under Coach Dagato?
I think off what Ryan said, I think because like this is where we're from, so try to win for the town that you grew up in.
Yeah, awesome. AJ, end it right here. Tell me why it's special to be playing at Marlboro.
I feel like Marlboro is its last decade, 2 decades. We have not had a very good history of record-wise, and last year we completely flipped it around, and it just made it that much better, that much more special to like flip the script, the program, put us on the map.
Well, guys, let me say something from a head coaching perspective. Who cares what happened in the past? You didn't have any say in it. You really didn't. It takes a group of seniors or a group of juniors. If multiple classes all buy in, anything can happen in high school football. Anything. And you proved it last year. You went 7-3. You have now different expectations that maybe last year you were saying you were going to be good. Nobody believed you. But now you're saying it and people are like, I get it. You're a top 15, top 20 team in the short conference and upset if you're not, right? And upset if you're not. So have fun while you're achieving your goals, guys. This way you guys are excited to play the next week. Don't put everything into one game. Play every game like it's your last and have fun, enjoy it, because you never know what's going to happen in high school football, right? We're all one injury away or, knock on wood, COVID away. So, all right, you guys have fun. Thank you very much for coming on here. It wasn't too bad. 11 minutes it was. That's it, all right? When this comes out tomorrow morning, make sure you promote it. Shore Football Report with Scott Stump and Coach Davis will be out, and we'll be at many games of yours. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks very much, guys. Talk to you later.